friend of mine today turned around and said, why don't you just continue doing painting and stuff? Because honestly, Mark, we can play Baldur's Gate whenever, even if it's months from now. You are an absolute angel. Honestly, darling, I appreciate that. I you know, like, I've been having a couple of conversations with a friend of mine who could possibly be in this stream right now or not. And bless him, he's always trying to... There's not many people in this world that I will let talk to me in a certain way, right? I'm an older guy. I'm a dad. I'm a granddad. I've been around and whatever else. But this guy, he has a very unique way of seeing the world, right? I'm not going to tell you, you know, what his ailments are, but he has a very unique way of seeing the world. And the way he comes across and he talks to you, if you didn't know him, you would just think he's an absolute twat, right? But when you understand that what he's trying to say is meant to help, and then you see it for that he's just basically cutting through all the crap and the niceties to just tell you for your own good, right? So I kind of have that relationship with him. The impasse that we're having at the moment is that like I haven't been streaming much. I spend a lot of time in bed and whatever else because I've not been very well. And, you know, from his kind of perspective, most of it is like you just need to get up and motivate yourself and do stuff, right? And it's so difficult to try and explain. Sometimes you need someone to tell you straight and hard. Yeah, exactly, you do. But it's like, it's awkward for me because I'm the one that's like screaming at the doctors and stuff because I can't get up and do this stuff. It's like I want to do it, but I can't. You know, whereas you got the other camp of people that don't want to get up and do it, but should do it. Does that make sense? And I feel like I'm in the category of I want to get up and do it, but can't. I'm not in the category of I don't want to get up and do it because I can't be bothered. And this is where I feel like we keep meeting a bit of an impasse, but we've never fallen out over it. And he's one of those guys as well, like that I could have a go at him and I could lose my temper with him and say the wrong thing and whatever else. And he'd just ignore me. You know, like most friends, when you'd said something out of turn or whatever else, you pull them up on it and then they'd be like, you know, well, whatever, we'll just move on. He's one of those types and they're very rare to find. But it's, I overthink a lot. A lot of you probably already know this anyway. And I basically cause my own problems. And one of the other things that I do a lot of is I do a lot of moaning on here, constantly saying about, well, I suppose I'm doing it now. I've done it so long now that it's just become second nature. And now, since I've just coughed then, I've now literally lost the whole point of the story. Isn't that great? What was the point of the story? Yeah, you're whinging. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I've completely lost the point of the story now, so we might as well just forget that and move on and stop whining. I do hate that when that happens. I really do. Gets on my bloody nerves.
You look a bit parched. Why don't you take a drink?
You know what? I literally just swallowed and thought I'm actually a bit parched. Raiden, how you doing, darling? D&D. Yeah, I was D&D. Why did I go from D&D to being ill and having a friend that gets on my nerves sometimes, but I think he's great? I honestly don't know how I did that. How was your stream, darling? Tangents be what? Yeah, they do, don't they? So I apologise to anybody that's listening to that and thought, you know, I wonder what the point of this is. The point of this is don't get old and lose your memory. There you go. Because the frustration that you're feeling right now by not knowing what the hell I was going on about is nothing compared to my frustration for not knowing what the hell I was going on about. You made a lot of beer. Yeah, that does look like a good game, actually. I played the demo of it, Beer Factory. But it kind of seemed to me like the same sort of game as what was the other game that's like it? Like Gas Station Simulator and pumping gas and stuff. They all seem to be around the same kind of thing. I mean, nothing to say there's anything wrong with that. Anywho, just a quick pop in. I'm going to have a bath and go to bed. Good night, guys. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better after your horrible flu and cold that you had. And I'm glad you enjoyed your D&D game. Thank you for popping in to see us. It was lovely to see you. And I hope to see you and talk to you soon. She's lovely, she is. We got to talking on Discord once in a just a little chat and whatever else. She's just such a nice person. She really is. I really want to play Baldur's Gate with her, and in Jimbo as well. I think that'd be funny as hell, because I'm going to be as inappropriate as I possibly can be with the character. Just to put that one out there with the character. See ya. My brother used to be a dungeon master when he played D&D as a kid. As kids, he created a monster called Wild Boar. It's an old man that aimlessly wanders around dungeons, telling long, boring stories. There's your tie. Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's a character that was literally made for me, handcrafted and everything. What do you mean boring? None of my stories are boring. You're going to be humping anything to me. I mean, well, you know, I could be persuaded. That could be my special power. You know, I'm an expert humpage. You know. Let's have a go at this one. Number 8. Oh, it's been so nice seeing everybody tonight. It really has. I was really in luck yesterday when so many people come out. Was it yesterday I streamed? I think it was yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was. As I mentioned before, when I used to play D&D, we had a member of our group who always wound up having sex with the bad guys to get information out of them. We rarely had to fight. Okay, well, I designate that to be your job, Pitbull, if we ever play D&D. You got to take one for the proverbial team. Could you imagine Don the Chonk playing D&D, Mr. I Hate Space and Magic? What a torturous experience that would be for him. I think we should definitely make it happen. He either gets mug merch or he plays D&D forever. I mean, it doesn't matter that you're good or bad at it. As long as you can sit there and listen to your polka, you know, it'd be all good. We'll all enjoy it. Actually, there needs to be a redemption on his stream when he comes back, as and it's got to be a really high price one, right? And it is I'll play whatever game you tell me to. What he said, I can't roleplay. You could roleplay as you. You can't get that wrong. You've been doing it for years, right? It would just be funny just listening to constantly moan, whine and bitch the whole game. Oh, I got magical powers. Oh, look at this. I'm going to get him to do that. Oh, well, look what, we're in space now. Oh, great. Tell you, he's got to build a wall in space. There you go. That, I think that at least that will keep him interested. Actually, we'll have him starring in his own film. We'll call it Star Wars. He's the Emperor Chonk, and he wants to build walls out of stars in the cosmos. You say when he comes back, Mark, but I feel like that's very soon. How much people in chat? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that long. Since when can people fly? We have beams of light come from your eyes. I mean, when was Christopher Reeve Superman? Who was the one that played Superman before Christopher Reeve? I mean, how do you know that he's not real, Don? How do you actually know? Have you ever met anybody that can do that? And just because you haven't met them, does that mean that they don't actually exist? There was one before. Yeah, there was one before. Yeah, was it George Reeves? Yeah, there was one before Christopher Reeves. He was actually pretty good, as it happens. So what's your bucket list stuff then, Don? You must have something on your bucket list that you want to do before you pop your clogs. And if you say finish this wall, I'm going to scream. Also Kirk Haley. Kirk Haley? I don't remember him. Hey, talking of Star Wars, right? This winds me up. Have you heard about the woman that's just taken over the Star Wars franchise or whatever it is, or who's directing the next Star Wars films? And her plans of what she wants to do with the company, or whatever you want to call it, the franchise rather. And the fact that she wants to make men very, very uncomfortable. Like, I'm not going to get into the whole, woman, man, whatever debate, right? That's not why I'm bringing this up. Why, with such an amazing franchise which has touched so many lives, would your singular goal be in an interview that the thing that you want to do the most is make men feel uncomfortable? What kind of hope have we got for the film if that's the basic premise of what it's all going to be about? I actually watched it. I have zero aspirations. Place is another coping stone in the wall. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. Like, if you was to give Star Wars to and I bearing in mind, I'm very loosely saying this, to a huge Star Wars fan base of people that actually knew what they were doing, not just these ones that rip everything apart. You know what I mean? And could you imagine the films that we could get spawning off of that, which don't just follow the same recipe as what Star Wars did? They would actually come up with something new and fresh and invigorate the actual genre, you know? But yet, no. I just want to make men feel really uncomfortable. Well, great. What does that actually got to do with Star Wars? You making men feel uncomfortable? I don't get it. Maybe it's me. Will it be Princess Leia having relationships with another woman? I mean, who knows? You know, right. Be honest now. Like, I mean, I know that Princess Leia helped quite a lot of people through a lot of cold nights, right? Let's not muck about, right? But Star Wars was never about that. Star Wars was just about Star Wars. There is something about Star Wars that has just been precious to billions, hundreds and hundreds of millions, right? So why would you take that, quite frankly, huge honor of directing the next one or the franchise itself and then explain that your total purpose is to make men feel very uncomfortable? What does that got to do with the storyline? Is that just me? Or have I missed the boat on something, you know? That was a poor turn of phrase, by the way. I didn't mean to mention boats. Russ, it's going to get to the point soon where you're going to come into the stream and you're not even going to be able to say hello anymore. Because politics and ideology have become a religion to the point where ideology-motivated people are obsessed with pushing their views onto the rest of the world and have gotten themselves into career positions that make it happen. Yeah, I guess you're right. Money, power, all means the same thing. I guess what I've always turned around and said is true. You know the golden rule? He who has the gold makes the rules. But I digress. We should probably move the subject on, actually. Let's not get too political. We don't want to lose everybody. I mean, if there is anybody in here still. I should rename my streams Grumpy Twat Paint Something. Enter at your own risk. Yeah. I've just noticed my back started hurting. I didn't think I've done that much, really. Doesn't feel like I've... Actually, I have done a lot. Okay, I'm going to go and have a look and see how long I've been streaming for. Let's just hop over and have a look. Oh, it's only 2 hours. Not bad. Did a 7 there, I think. Curmudgeon. What's this? Quality of the product takes a backseat to the message. Yeah, it does, unfortunately. Basically, why wreck something that's been a huge moneymaker, literally cutting out the majority of the fans? Well, look at what they're doing with Doctor Who. Now, I have no problem, right? I'm going to state this right now. I have no problem with there being a Black Doctor. None whatsoever. Doesn't even hit my radar as being anything other than just the norm, right? Not bothered about that whatsoever. I don't even care that the Doctor's, whatever the Doctor's sexual orientation is. right? That doesn't bother me at all. But from what I've been hearing from other people, the agenda that's going to be pushed by it, I do have a huge issue with. Now, I've watched Doctor Who practically my entire life, and if it goes the way that what I've heard it's going to go, I won't ever watch it again. Ever. Now, then no one's going to miss me. You know, I'm just one person. But if I, as a huge Doctor Who fan, and I am, I'm prepared to walk away from it, I wonder how many other people are going to be. Look at what they did to Star Trek, for crying out loud. This is how I take what you said about what she said. Are they trying to put the focus on the stories, bringing equal standings for all beings and so forth? If so, then it should be the case where it's not mentioned or speaking about, only implies it more. Late message had a brain fart. Right, okay, so I was watching some of the interview, right, and she honestly, if you watch the interview and you watch her demeanour and the way she was saying it, it had nothing to do with the storylines whatsoever. I believe it was just the fact that she just wanted to make men feel very uncomfortable. Because from what I understand is that she was saying that like men have had all the good roles and whatever else, and I was sitting there, I was thinking, hang on a minute, haven't all the new Star Wars ones had all basically female characters as the leading roles? Maybe I'm just wrong now, I don't know. But my point is I don't care who plays the leading role. Honestly, I feel like news like the wave this ever hits, it gets called like a religion, and it's just being constantly rammed down our throats. Yes, I agree. I completely agree. Honestly, everybody's making it an issue before it becomes an issue. The issue that I have with that statement is that what does making men feel uncomfortable have anything to do with the franchise? I feel like it's a new wave of whatever it's called, like a religion, just being constantly on the throat. Yeah, I honestly, I agree. If I missed something else, ideology. This is how I take it. No, I have. Yeah. I honestly, like that's my only issue with it. It's like creating a problem where there isn't any, and unless I've missed the problem, which is altogether possible because I am getting older now. Not sharp as I used to be, Sonny. It's funny, I look at a lot of stuff on YouTube, on TikTok, and Christ knows what other platforms there are. And from what I can see, and from my perspective, it is literally that the lunatics are running the asylum now. You look at voting and stuff. People clearly don't want the Conservatives back in, right? Fair enough, whatever. So who do you vote for next? You go and vote for Labour, and then you listen to Labour's policies and stuff, and they're basically just a little bit different of exactly what the Conservatives wanted to do. So it's like you don't want to vote for them. And then you've got this reformed UK who are saying everything the British people really want. So obviously, probably British people are going to end up voting for them. My argument is this, though, is what's actually going to stop them or make them do what they say they're going to do once they're in office? Because once they're there, they don't have to do any of it. So you're literally stuffed no matter which way you go. It's literally like going into a game of poker where everybody knows their cards except you. It's just so sad. What's this? It's why I would never go to an LGBT plus convention because I would rather not have it shoved in my face. Fair enough. And that's absolutely your right to. You know, it's most of the reasons why I don't watch a lot of TV and stuff. Well, I don't have a television anymore. Well, I've got a television, but I don't have Sky anymore. I cancelled that. I don't have a television license because I do not watch anything on TV. I don't watch ITV, Channel 4, BBC, BBC Two. I don't even listen to BBC Radio. Right, so I just got rid of all of that because everything you watch these days is just completely agenda based. I'm sick of it. It's why I got so fed up when I was playing Spider-Man, because that was all just agenda based in that, and that's my bloody game that we paid a bloody fortune for. You know, I came to be entertained, not have your narratives thrown at me. I don't know. I feel like we're getting into a bit of a grumpy old man state. I feel most people notice sexualities, but we just get on with it and are happy to carry on. But the far end of the lot feel like we need to draw all the attention, like we're fine with it. Stop banging on about it. Yeah, exactly. I've always said it. I don't care who you love. Don't care who you love. Honestly, makes no difference to me whatsoever. I'm not going to treat you any differently. But I keep seeing this. I keep seeing all of these videos come up about transgender being misgendered and how much it hurts. And I'm sorry that it hurts. But I don't understand it. We are literally programmed for facial recognition. That's why we see faces and everything. It's like you can't help it sometimes. What's this? Curmudgeon. Rhymes with bludgeon. Curmudgeon? Bludgeon? I've no idea. That's all that is needed. What's this? Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It'll all work itself out in the wash. Either that or it'll all implode. Because in most cases in life, they are your two choices. You can only push your boulder up a mountain for so long before it reaches the top. Once it gets there, the only way's down. Right. And that's the other thing, like talking about this kind of subject, you've always got to worry, like, who have you offended? What have you said that was wrong? And I don't believe I've said anything here that's been offensive to anybody. I've not belittled anyone. I'm not saying anybody said that, but I'm sat here wondering, you know, you mentioned Doctor Who, by the way. I feel that David's third special had really good factors regarding pronouns and such. I mean, I haven't actually watched it, to be honest with you. I haven't really had a chance, even though I say I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I generally like to wait until the entire season's out so I can binge watch it. Kermagan. No, bad-tempered, difficult, cantankerous person. Yeah, there you go. I'm deeply offended. How dare you? Why did I grab this one? I don't even think this was the colour I was meant to be doing next. No, it's 8 and 9. So why did I grab that one? No, don't fall down there. There. I have no hatred or ill will towards anybody. I never have and never will. Maybe my ex-wife, I have a little bit to. That's a different subject. But no, I don't wish ill on anybody. I don't want anybody to be upset. I don't want anybody to be unhappy. And I believe in this day and age we should have reached a point by now where nobody should be missing out on basic human comforts, let's call them. like heat, light, food, water, and a comfy safe place to be. But I tell you what I was thinking about the other night. You know, they've always turned around and said to us, oh, the NHS, it's breaking down, it's underfunded, there's no funding for it, there's no funding. You found bloody funding for ULEZ quick enough, didn't you? You know, I'm just saying, you know, you didn't have a problem finding funding for that. Wars in different countries, yes, certainly didn't have any problem finding funding for that, but you couldn't find funding for the NHS. Gotcha. Oh, what's this? I'll try to rephrase what I was about to say in a non-spoiler way then. I appreciate that, buddy. But you know, it just amazes me, and I tell you what really irritates me the most. And I'm sorry, we've entered rant time. I apologise for anybody out there that doesn't frequent my streams very often, doesn't know me or whatever else. But we've entered that miserable, what do we call it? Curmudgeon. But yeah, grumpy old sod zone. What really gets me is when you ask Richie Sunak a question that he doesn't want to answer, and then he completely sidesteps the question and talks about all the good stuff he's done, and everybody's like saying, well, that's not what we asked you. Oh yes, but we, and he wastes all the time, and I'm sick of it. I am absolutely sick to the back teeth of it. If I try to do that, imagine me going for my next PIP assessment, and they say to me, oh, Mr. Buddy, how far can you walk before you're in pain? Well, I did some streaming the other day, and I painted this amazing picture, which is really good for my stream, and people were very happy with it. And I'd like to carry on doing it. And I think it's important that we focus on that, you know, moving forward. You know, next question, please. They're going to look at me and say, look, that's not what I asked you. But these people seem to be able to get around it. Focusing on the third special. Well, yes, one that was put in our faces a little bit was when they asked about an alien what identified after a small he or she, but apparently the daughter was trans, and apparently at least there's a character that they don't quote me on the real subject. Bastards came to boss up in Marple last week. Only the nice areas it didn't go well. Yeah, exactly, and it's terrible. Do you know what? And I'm going to say this, and I don't really care at the moment, right? I truly believe that all of the elites think that most of us are just bottom feeders, waste of time and energy, right? If you can't work and be an elite, then you're beneath them and you don't actually deserve to be here because you're a drain more than you are of someone that actually contributes, right? And if you ask me, most of this stuff is just designed to get rid of us. There, I said it. That's exactly what I think. Any of the shows, he'd probably get stabbed. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's exactly what it is. You know, I really do. It's like you've got scientists out there saying one thing, and they're flying in the face of a lot of what the government is saying. And then the government are just ignoring it, saying, oh, it's not right, it's not right. And then they're telling you to follow the science. It's like, well, yeah, the scientists are telling us that you're not right. Oh, no, but those ones are wrong. Oh, sorry, we have to listen to your scientists, right? Sorry, I forgot that bit. But I digress. I should stop talking about this, I guess. I should talk about fluffy things like puppies and clouds. I think I should start doing a podcast. Do you reckon I could get Richie Sunak on a podcast? I'd pay to hear that, quite frankly. That bit there. Up to that bit there. You say it's terrible. What's this? You say it's terrible, but that trans thing that I was told was never mentioned during the special, which I feel is fantastic. It just shows them, and that's it. The pronoun one, while yes, is more in your face, I would argue that it was a good variation of people asking to respect them. Talk about the things that really matter, like change my mind. A hot dog is just kind of a taco. Exactly. No, I agree. Look, the thing is that I'm in the camp of I will go off of what I see, because quite frankly it's the path of least resistance for me, so I don't have the guesswork. Does that make sense? And then I don't know, maybe look, you're talking to the wrong generation of people right now. I can barely change the milk I drink on my cereal or the coffee that I have in my coffee, rather than change the way I speak and how I address people. And that's on me. That's not on anybody else. That's just on one day you will all be just like me. You will all be the elder generation. You will all be stuck in your ways at some point. And it's not through ignorance, and you'll realise this when you get to our age, that it's not through ignorance, it's just through pure habit. We're old school, we just want to... Exactly. And no, a taco isn't a hot dog. Oh, controversy. Well, I think I'm going to end this one here before Twitch ends my career completely. I have had an amazing evening. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure.